Then the committee, who's Dr. Zhang, Dr. Diebondo, and myself, will have the first opportunity to ask Pascal questions, and then after we're through, then we open the floor to other questions. Pascal?
Thank you. So good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for coming today to my competition defense. So my topic is exploring knowledge, beliefs, and practices of radon gas among public health workers. But before I go, I actually did this study, or interested in how I got interested in doing this study. I used to live in Nwako Park, that's in Bergen County, New Jersey, and a neighbor of mine suddenly developed lung cancer. Never smoked, and nobody knew what was going on. So it happened that that area in Nwako Park was built in the 50s by the Army Corps of Engineers. So it didn't have a basement. Everything was up above ground. But some families decided to dig the basement just to add value to the house and to have more space in the house. So they were one of those families, and it happened that while they dug the basement up and had good life for some years, that basement was actually killing them in the house. So they had radon. So what is radon? Radon is a radioactive, invisible, odorless, and naturally occurring gas, and it comes from the soil and rock. So the US EPA have a radon action level, which is 4 picocurie per liter of air. But actually, there's no safe level of radon. So even if you have 3 picocurie, there's no safe level. You are still, you might still come down with lung cancer. So concentrations of radon, you have it in underground water, building materials enter the house. Like if you have a large kitchen with your slab, with your marble, you might have introduced radon into your house without knowing it. So I put up this slide just to show you the properties of radon. Before I go ahead, this is the periodic table. And radon is right here, 86. If you look to your right, you have about 6 elements that are red. Those are called noble gases. So radon is part of it. It's 86. And my son, 10-year-old son, will say, why is it noble when it's causing a problem? Nobility. So it's because essentially they stay by themselves, and those gases do not mix with each other. They can't form compounds of those noble gases with the rest over here. So they stay alone. So essentially there are 39 isotopes of radon, but the one that public health cares about is radon 222 because it's most stable. And like I said, that comes from the rock and the soil in the house. And the breakdown, radon comes from the breakdown of uranium, which is 92 on the periodic table, and also the breakdown into polonium 218 and 214, which actually emits the gas that we breathe in our lungs and then goes to our lungs to cause lung cancer. And of course, like I said before, radon forms from the rock, igneous rock, metamorphic rock, and sedimentary rock. So I want to show you something that nobody in this room have actually seen or heard about. 4 picocurie per liter of air is the action level. But for instance, if a family of 4 is exposed to that for 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, case in point, in areas where in the United States where you have the radioactive waste sites, they allow you just 25 mREMs for exposure. But if you stay in your house for 15 minutes with 4 picocurie, you actually have 800 mRM exposure. So if you go to the fence of a radioactive waste material site and stay for 15 minutes, remember they check that fence, the parameter around the fence, every 15 minutes to see that it's 25 or less mrem. But in your house, you've been inhaling radon more than 4 picocurie, or 4 picocurie per liter of air, and you are actually 35 times higher than being at the gate or around the perimeter of a radioactive waste. So this is a huge problem. And again, the US lifetime standards for carcinogens, some of you might know that in the United States is 1 per 1,000 risk of death. But with radon, you have 1 in 100. So you actually 1,000 times the risk of death based on the fact that
risk.
Exponential.
Now we have to ask, is there actually a cancer prevalence
Cluster.
that is increased there? Okay?
Yeah.
It gets back to, we can't just make this one-to-one relationship. There's multi-factors that potentially could be leading into it. It might be a smaller population of individuals in those areas as opposed to the southern, so when you have greater, so there's lots of things that come into play. And I think, when I hear you talk, your information really speaks to the fact that the training process needs to change. There has to be checks and balances, because even though the people may have the knowledge, or even if they know it's their job, if they're not being checked on their job, we're seeing that the information is not being translated out.
Yeah.
So something else has to occur.
Yeah.
So
You're absolutely right. Let me take it a little bit further. I know the health officer of Sussex, Warren, and Somerset, and Hunterdon. 2 months ago, well, not 2 months, sometime early this year, when everything started making sense about my study, I reached out to them. I said, during the meeting, I said, the one for Warren have been there 20 years, Sussex just retired. And I said, what happened to your study, to this man? The first thing one of them told me, I believe that's for Hunter, and he said, we embraced this when with DEP, but the rest of the state did not embrace it. So they went ahead to tell the public, please, they did a very good job. So that's why you have a lot of red here. You understand what I'm saying?
Basically, you're saying there's more tests.
There's more tests over there.
Therefore, yeah.
So this other part of this.
we don't know that to be true.
But this is what they're telling me that's why. Case in point, Camden County every year to have the highest West Nile virus pool of water in West Nile virus, the mosquito. Because we do a very terrific job going out there to the public to test for pools. Guess what? The other 20 counties think it's not a big problem. So they don't do that. But we do, and that's why our numbers are so high in Camden County compared to the rest of the state. Because we do a marvelous job there, going every day to test for pools.
And it just doesn't go. I mean, when I think of this, these have the little map showing it.
Yeah.
I live in a town where we have one of the 3 Superfund sites in the
Tom's
city.
River?
Well, no, I'm in South Plainfield. So
Okay, South
I have
Plainfield.
South Plainfield one. We have the largest, and Tom's River has the second one.
Yes.
But yeah, so South Plainfield has the largest in the small population.
Yeah.
And these Superfunds, are problematic. Do we have tons of information about them as residents? No. Because the DEP comes in, cleared it out, but the next town over, one block, they're not colored in that because it's a different town.
See, but it depends, because I can tell you that I live in a Superfund neighborhood, okay?
That's in
Wayne,
Wayne,
yeah,
yeah.
Thornham, okay, Thornham
Yeah.
Hill. And I can tell you that depending on what is initially told, we had no choice. We had a building that was by W.R. Grace Company, and that's where the thorium came from, because they dumped there. And this is little lab samples dumped into the ground and into our water supply, because we have underground
Yeah,
springs.
contaminated.
And so we all knew that it was there. We all kind of knew the building was there. We kind of suspected. And we were the ones that had to start from the neighborhood. And I can remember being 12 years old and being in high school already and studying this stuff.
What do you think that was related to?
Essentially, they are not well informed about, they don't think they have anything to offer regarding radon exposure, not radon exposure in the public. So putting it in another way, public health work.
So I found that the result was 0.01.
And we did it in school. We started talking about it. Our parents started talking about it, and we brought it all the way up to Senator Pascal. So it came from the down up, and our health department got involved, and now we're one of the cleanest states around for thorium. But it took 15 years, and we had all the soil dug up and moved out to Utah and all that other stuff. But it was a huge motion. Yeah, well, we don't like Utah, okay? That's where they sent it. No, they have a place to process it. They have a place to process the soil. But anyway, I can remember doing that for probably the better part of a decade, trying to get the involvement from the towns and try to get the health department involved. And then they got involved because the high schoolers made a big deal of it. And they came out and started talking to us, and then they started doing research, and then it became town hall meetings. And so there's a bit of a grassroots thing going both ways. But that would also lead me to a question about you, because I've had conversations with you on this all the way back to philosophy of science.
Sure, yes. I was
Okay.
your honorary staff member.
So building on what Dr. Cahill said and what Dr. Zip said, I'm going to nail you to the wall now.
Sure, go
Okay,
ahead.
the lawyer's going to nail you. You are in a situation where you have people in
Buy into this kind of program, but we're doing it right now.
You have the opportunity for advocacy.
Yes, I do. And we'll be working with that. As of now, I'm the president of New Jersey Environmental Health Association, president-elect of New Jersey Public Health Association. I'm on the board of so many New Jersey health-related programs.
It's my privilege to introduce the newest doctor to the scholarly community. Pascal, you passed your defense. Congratulations. Let me just offer a couple of comments. There's no doubt that you're a successful executive. I've known you for several years now. I actually knew about you in East Orange before you moved down to Camden. Our task here, our objective here, was really to help you turn that corner in the sense of developing your scholarly skills and your abilities to collect evidence and then speak in a way that's more solidly based. And so my question to you was exactly in that direction. And I think you've come a long way. And you passed me a long time ago with your statistical knowledge base. So that's not hard to do, but I do congratulate you. Yes, there's been times when we've had conflicts, and that's just part of the journey. And then part of the way we develop new knowledge is through debate and through critique. And so some of the conversation we've had in this very room.
Yes.
It's a continual learning. And so one of your comments that as you transitioned from when you started your study to what you have now, and you've learned so much, often the comment at this point is, I know now much more what I don't know, as much as what I do know. And so your journey doesn't end here, it continues, and expect great things, that you'll be a very successful scholarly practitioner. So,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I wanted
She needs to say something.
Yeah. I wanted to thank you for your service in public health, and I was reminded of the reason why we went into public health in the first place. And it's not only about helping people and communities be healthier, but it's about social justice. And you remember that always, because you're always talking about how this can lead to bigger change. And I appreciate you as a change agent, and I look forward to seeing how you change everything in the county of New Jersey and in the world regarding this issue. So thank you so much for asking the difficult questions.
Pascal, and you said the smile is contagious. It always is. You know, every time I meet with him, he always smiles. You know, every time he show up in front of my office or even come into the office, he smiles. You know, that kind of smile made me feel like, you know, this is a good place I work at. This is a good student I'm talking to. You know, after he left, you know, that smile lasted for another few hours. Yeah, I guess your wife feels the same way. And I like Pascal because, you know, he believes in something. You know, I can tell from his attitude, from the way he handles the questions. You know, sometimes the questions was difficult. He never was afraid of the difficulty. From his eyes, you can tell he can get things done. Next time we meet with him. You know, at the first beginning, I didn't believe that, but after twice, 3 times, I started believing that. So you're kind of hardworking, and your belief really made a difference.
Thank you.
And now I have no doubt you will be a successful public health worker, a successful public health executive, and a successful husband. Even in a difficult situation, you always come back and revisit and come up with a solution, and you always do the right thing. That's where my belief in you come from.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Doctor.
And lastly, Pascal, you know, on behalf of all of our faculty and our student learning community, I'd like to present you with just a couple small tokens to memorialize this moment. One is we talk about this as a journey, as I just said, and the student becomes the teacher, and I think what Dr. Zhang just commented on, and Dr. Diabundo referred to as well, is you truly are a teacher or a preacher. Journeys are often sort of noted in regards to time, and so the first symbol is a clock from Seton Hall University, so you can have that on your desk and remember us and you know, stay in touch with us as part of you know, who you've become as a result of being with us. The second thing is that we join the conversation. We talk about this is not just an exercise, but this is producing new knowledge that will expand and help others to understand the topic that you've explored in more detail. And the way we join the conversation is often through writing. And so here's your pen. You start writing and you know, continue to make a difference in the world. So again, Pascal, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. A few things. Okay. From yesterday till today, my wife is here. We've been married. We'll be 24 years this December 18th. And as a matter of fact, my brother, immediate elder brother, is here. I come from a family. We are 7. I'm the 7 of 7. I'm the baby, and all of us have at least a master's degree. 2 of us, as of today, have a doctorate degree, and one is a physician, one is an accountant, one is an economist, and but it's been a tough life, but I thank God for all His blessings. So, thank my wife. My brother is here, and my very good friend. Recall I told him my brother passed away a couple of years ago. He had his Ph.D. from NYU, and he was over Kinney University, and that's his best friend there. Taking pictures. So, but I wish that he's here today. So,
Pascal, I'm adventurous spirit.
I thank you all for putting up with me. Like I said, I'm kind of a difficult person.
You're not.
Yeah. Thank you.
Please join us.